Hello, been a little while since I made a video about any of my DVD films, so thought I'd just do a quick update and just show you a few of the films I've purchased for my collection over the last year or so. So, first up, Piranha 3D. Now, if you've seen my other videos, I'm sure you all know what I think of this film. Yeah, very good. This is the UK DVD, of course. Much better than the US version because it's got a lot of extras on here that aren't on the US release. Plus, it's actually in 3D, whereas the US release is in 2D only. So, yeah, definitely the one to get. Very cool film. If you haven't seen it, then you should pick this up at once. Predators, arguably my favourite sci-fi film from last year. Good movie, although I was a little bit disappointed with this release. Not a lot of extras on it. I think there's just like a motion comic and that's it. So, yeah, they could have given us a director's commentary on some trailers and stuff, but no. But yeah, good film, but you know, not a very good release, unfortunately. Video Nasties, the definitive guide. If you've seen my other videos, you'll probably know I had a very minor hand in helping them put this together. Very good documentary looking at the old moral panic that went on in the early 80s. Plus, it's got trailers to all your favourite Video Nasty titles, so definitely worth the money. This is actually the limited edition version. It's got the poster cards in. I won't bother showing you all the things that are inside it because I've done a video review with this elsewhere. So, but yeah, anyway, definitely worth picking up. Street Trash, a film with something guaranteed to offend everybody. This is the German small hardbox edition. I actually made a bit of a mistake when I bought this. I thought this was the 2-disc edition. It actually turned out to be the single-disc release. But not to worry, it's still a very fun film. Just a everyday tale of the local bums that inhabit this junkyard and the things they get up to. Very funny film. The Crazies. It comes in a nice slipcase. One of my favourite films from last year. As you know, if you saw my movie awards for 2010 that I did back on New Year's Day, you'll know that this was arguably my favourite film of last year. But yeah, very good reimagining of George Romero's original film. Very action-packed, very disturbing and very gory in places. Pieces. Good old 80s slasher film. I think I got this on a recommendation from, I think it was Savini 1979, but yeah, it's a bit of a strange slasher film because it's a sort of a cross between an 80s American slasher and a European giallo. But yeah, very fun film. This is a 2-disc special edition which has got interviews with some of the cast and crew on here and director's commentary track. It's also, what else has it got on here? Yeah, optional. Yeah, it's got the optional Spanish language soundtrack and there's a special audio option which lets you listen to the movie as it was being played at the Vine Theatre in Hollywood, which is quite interesting hearing the audience, what they're saying as it plays along. But yeah, it's quite an interesting cast on here. It's got people like Edward Purdom in it, who's well-known in a lot of European horror films like Anthropophagus, I think it was. No, sorry, Absurd. And who else was in this? Can't remember now. Yeah, anyway, very good film. Check it out. Halloween, 25 Years of Terror documentary. It's also got the movie on here, which I was a bit surprised to find. I heard a lot of good things about the documentary, and the DVD was fairly cheap. I think Play.com was selling this off for about £3 or something, so I couldn't resist a bargain. Then I found out it had the film on there as well, so quids on that one. Hatchet. Very fun throwback to the old 80s slashers. Stars Kane Hodder and Robert Englund's in there briefly, and Tony Todd. Very fun film, sort of a horror comedy in many ways. I think Tony Todd's cameo is hilarious in this, but check this out if you get a chance. White Zombie, Bela Lugosi. Picked this up for Halloween. It was only £1 from Poundland. It's bare bones disc, but for £1 you can't go wrong. But yeah, oldie black and white film. Quite entertaining, but doubt many modern horror fans would find it too good, but yeah, if you like classic oldies, it's not a bad movie. Freaks, another classic oldie, special edition version. Quite controversial for its day, apparently. Documentary on here is worth watching, just to seeing all the, bullshit the poor old freaks had to go through that actually making this. It's supposed to be a tentative look at the problems freaks have in the circus, but it seems that the people that they got to star in this, 'cause it features genuine circus freaks, they were treated just as badly on set. So, but yeah, interesting sort of film, vintage period piece anyway. Wreck, 2-disc special edition. As you probably know, this is one of my favourite European films. If you haven't seen this one, it's what they based the movie Quarantine on, so if you've seen that, you want to check this out. This is a 2-disc edition, which has got a making of and extended scenes and behind the scenes footage on and stuff, so a little bit harder to get hold of than the standard single-disc edition, so if you get a chance, try and get the 2-disc version. And also we have Wreck 2. As you know, this is one of my favourite films of last year as well. Good film, though. I was a little disappointed with this release because it doesn't have a lot of extras on there. Just some, extended and deleted scenes. I would have liked to have seen some trailers and stuff on here, and maybe a making of special, but sadly not. But yeah, apart from that, good movie. Pick this one up. Last House on the Left remake. Good film, not as good as the original perhaps, but still pretty gritty and disturbing. Yeah. It says it's the extended version, though I could be honest with you, I couldn't really notice that much difference between this and the cinema anyway. The Outpost, Nazi zombie film. Not a bad movie actually. I picked this up because it was cheap and I'd heard a lot of stuff about it. I was actually pleasantly surprised with this one, but I don't think who's in this now. Yeah, Richard Brake from Death Machine, and I thought some other people. Maybe I'm thinking of another film, but yeah. Very interesting film. Quite a few moments in here that really did make me cringe, and it takes a lot for me to, wince at a scene. But yeah, not a bad movie at all. Zombie Death House. Again, I think I picked this one up on a recommendation from Savini 1979. It's basically about some zombie virus that's taking hold of this prison, and the inmates are slowly turning into zombies and attacking the others. Bit slow, not a bad movie, but not a brilliant one either. It's got John Saxon in here and Anthony Franciosa, who were both in Tenebrae. Not a bad movie, not brilliant, but worth a watch if you can get hold of it. This one's fairly cheap. It's a bare bones disc, but for about, I think it was about £3 or something I picked this up for, so can't go wrong with that. John Carpenter films now. The Fog Special Edition. Picked this one up because it's finally got a special edition release over here, and this one was fairly cheap. But yeah, it's got all the old extras that were on the old Laserdisc, like audio commentary and old documentaries and stuff. And there's a new documentary on here as well. But very good creepy film. If you haven't seen it, then you ought to. Assault on Precinct 13, the original version, much better than the remake that came out a few years back. Again, special edition with director's commentary track, isolated score, and interviews with the director and Austin Stoker, who was the lead character in this. Escape from New York, special edition. Got deleted scenes, trailers, and commentary track on here. Again, worth picking up. Now we've got some Roger Corman films. Chud. I think this one was from Anchor Bay. Yes, Anchor Bay. Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, these monsters living in the sewers, popping up and dragging people down to their doom on the streets of New York. Very fun film. Yeah, this one's got audio commentary track on here, behind the scene stills and theatrical trailers and stuff. Well worth picking up if you can get hold of it. Now from Shout Factory, more Corman films. Galaxy of Terror Special Edition. I did a review of this release when it first came out, so I won't go into too much detail, but this should be on every horror B-movie fan's must-have list as far as I'm concerned. Got Robert Englund and Sid Haig here, as well as a lot of other horror B-movie stars. Basically it's a rip-off of Alien. It's kind of like Event Horizon, but predates those films by a number of years, but very good film you should check out. Also, Forbidden World. Now, I believe this was marketed as a sort of follow-up to Galaxy of Terror, though it isn't. It does, however, use some of the scenery and sets and stuff like that, because I think he filmed some of this at the same time as they were making the other one. Plus, it's got effects on here that were lifted from Battle Beyond the Stars, because we know how much Roger Corman likes to get as much mileage as he can out of his footage. But not a bad movie. It's even more of a rip-off of Alien than the last one, but it's not a bad movie. Yeah. What's this got on here? Yeah, 2 different cuts of the film, audio commentary track, and trailers and stuff. But yeah, not a bad movie. Not as good as Galaxy of Terror, but very good companion piece to have with it. I think that got that one on a recommendation from, I think it was K&J Horror. Can't remember now, but anyway. Slumber Party Massacre collection. It's got all 3 Slumber Party Massacre films on here. Not bad movies. Not too many extras on here. I think the first one's got an audio comment. No, sorry. Tell a lie. Each one's got an audio commentary track on. And there's a 3-part documentary on here, and there's theatrical trailers for each one. So yeah. All the films are okay, but they sort of like vary in greatness, if you know what I mean. But yeah, definitely worth picking up if you like trashy old 80s slasher films. Not brilliant movies, but you know, if you like schlock, then definitely recommended. And lastly, Piranha. If you can see that. We started with Piranha, we ended with Piranha. This is the original version, though. Part of Shout Factory's Roger Corman collection. Comes in a nice slip case here with lenticular sleeve. And there's a reversible cover. Yeah, with the other artwork on, I think. Yeah, very fun film. I remember seeing this one on TV back in the 80s. Very fun movie. I think it's one of Joe Dante's first films, actually. He went on to direct Gremlins. But yeah, it's got audio commentary track, making of specials, outtakes, and all sorts of other goodies on here. But yeah, if you like corny old B movies, this one's definitely a must. This really is brilliant. Yeah, it's different the 3D remake's different as opposed to being better or worse. But if you really ought to, if you like Piranha 3D, then you ought to get this as a companion piece to it, because it really is a laugh. Anyway, I think that's about it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed. Be sure to leave us some feedback, and be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. So, till next time.